Hi everyone, it's Don from Don's Family Vacation, and I'm getting a lot of requests now for not only port reviews, city reviews, hotel reviews, and tip reviews, and you name it, but now some people have asked me for my favorite shore excursions I like to do when I'm at the ports. And so I said, okay, I will start a playlist about my favorite shore excursions that I like to do whenever I'm in certain ports on a cruise. And where do I start? Well, you all know Alaska is one of my favorite destinations on a cruise ship of all time, so that's where I'm going to start. And I'm going to give you 5 of my favorite shore excursions I like to do whenever I'm in an Alaskan cruise, and I'm going to talk about it right after this. My first stop on my Alaskan shore excursion adventure would be Skagway, and one of the things I like to do here is take the White Pass and Yukon Route Railway. And this gives you a little bit of a feeling of what the gold rush explorers would have been doing when they were first breaking into this area, but they didn't have a railway going up there. They had to build it, and they were hiking through here. So as you're on that train, you could just imagine in the dead of winter how hard that would have been to try and do things like this. And it's amazing way back then with the materials that they had that they were still able to do this. You'll get a nice relaxing railway ride where every view from both sides of the train is fantastic. You're going to go 3,000 feet above sea level on this cruise, and you're going to start at sea level. So you're going to rise up all the time. You're going to cross over some great wooden bridges as you go, and some of the scenes and photography that you can do on this train is absolutely amazing. The staff is very friendly and very informative, and there's a narrator who will talk to you about the trip as you go along. And so that's one of my favorite shore excursions I like to do in Skagway whenever I'm there. And if I'm in Skagway and I'm not going to do the White Trail Pass and the railway, well, I might look for another form of transportation, and that's the half-day ATV shore excursion with glacier. So you're going to get off-road here. You're going to get yourself dirty. You're going to go through rivers and streams and things like that on these beautiful ATV all-terrain vehicles. You're going to go up into the hills and the mountains. You're going to see the glacier. You're also going to get like places to take pictures from that you can't get anywhere else. So you're not going to be on the ship getting views like this. You're not going to be on the train and get views like this. You're going to get up right close to the edge of the mountains and see some fantastic views. You're going to feel what it's like to be in that area as a person who lives there. And it's truly a great experience. You have to be a little bit physically fit to be able to do this, because you have to be able to control those vehicles. Although they're large vehicles, so they're not like the little 3-wheeler or 4-wheel all-terrain vehicles. They're a lot more like a Jeep kind of version, so it's not as difficult, but you are on some rough terrain. So if that would bother you, I wouldn't recommend doing it. But if you can, an ATV excursion of this kind, as well as seeing the glacier in the same tour, is a great combination. Now let's move on over to Ketchikan, Alaska. And here I like to take the tour up to Neats Point to watch the bears, where they have all the platforms built out. There's a salmon farm right there, and the bears just flock to this area. So you're pedestaled up high in a safe area, and you can watch the bears hunt for salmon in their natural environment and interact with each other. It's not a zoo. It's not an enclosed-in area like you'll see at other places in Alaska. These bears are free to roam wherever they want, but they like coming here because the fish is plentiful and it's a great place to hunt for them. So some of the pictures you can get of the bears, and you're so close, it's amazing. You don't really need a telephoto lens to get good pictures of the bears here in Alaska. And you'll notice my preference is to get good photos wherever I go in any of my shore excursions, and this one is no exception. The next stop in my Ketchikan tour, if I'm going to do one, it combines a whole bunch of my favorite things to do. I love boats, I love animals, and I love to eat food when I'm on these cruises. So I'm gonna go on the Alaskan Lodge Adventure and Sea Fest. And what that is you get into a relatively small 12 to 15 person boat. It takes you out around the point up to a lodge. And on this trip, you're gonna be out on the water. The captain's going to be talking about the area and fulfilling you in on the animal life and things like that. There's a very high probability you're going to see eagles or sea lions or even whales on your trip, which, kind of combines seeing a whale watching excursion at the same time, and they don't rush it. If they come across whales or eagles or things like that, they slow the boat down and they talk about it and they allow you to get pictures and things like that. They're not just going to zoom to their destination to get rid of you as fast as they can so they can do more people. You're the person on that day, and that's who they're taking, and so they're going to slow down and enjoy it, and you get great pictures and great information while you're going. Then you arrive at the lodge and you see over in this corners these great big steamer pots that are heating up, and you're just sitting down at this table and they put out all these newspapers and things like that all around you, and then they'll come up with their gloves on, tell you to step back a little bit, and they just dump all this beautiful food that has been cooking and slowly marinating in those pots until you arrive. And there's everything from potatoes to mussels to lobster to crab to salmon to corn on the cob. It's just a ton of food thrown in, and it's like a family buffet. Just everybody just sits around, and there's no ceremony here. It's not a highbrow restaurant by no means. You're meant to get in and just crack those crab legs open and just dig in. And you can have as much as you want while you're there. And the food is fantastic. And then you just head back to the ship afterwards. So it kind of combines what I like to do: boat ride, animal viewing, possible whale watching, and great food and everyday food up in Alaska. And it's all fresh. So yeah, that's one of my favorite tours to do of all time in Alaska. And lastly, let's switch on over to another port, Juneau. And a lot of people just stick around Juneau and just walk around the town and things like that, which is fine. What I like to do is the Whale Watch and Mendenhall Glacier Tour. And it combines, because I just want to see whales. I want to see humpbacks. I want to see killer whales. I want to see the pods wherever I can. And I will do this tour every single time, weather permitting. And not only that, it combines the whale watching with great views and close-up Mendenhall Glacier viewing that even the cruise ship gets pretty close, but these ships are smaller and can get even closer. And quite often, if some of the glacier breaks off into the water, you're going to feel it on that boat because that water just heads towards you. But it's a fantastic cruise. You can also, if you wanted to, add a salmon bake onto this and eat on this cruise as well. And so that's a great little thing: fresh salmon, glacier view, whale watching, all day on the water. What can get better than that? So those are my top 5 shore excursions in Alaska that I like to do whenever I'm there. Guaranteed to have a great time, at least I am anyway. So I hope you liked this video, and I hope you found it useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more tips and more cruise videos like this, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a great and a safe vacation.